Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are playing Omastar, the rock water type. Now Omastar is an interesting Pokemon. For base stats we've got 70 in HP, 60 in attack, 125 in defense, pretty good, 55 in speed, and 115 in special, the crit rate of 10.55. So a little bit on the slower side. That might come to bite us towards the later half of the game. A little bit on the slower side, but we are pretty bulky, honestly. 115 base special and 125 base defense. So we are pretty bulky. We should be able to take a hit fairly well. Looking at our learn set here, we start off with Water Gun, Withdraw, and Horn Attack. So we will have good damage to take on Brock. Won't lose any points there. So that'll be good. Now, obviously, one thing that might be challenging is dealing with Jolteon on the champions team. Since we are so slow, there's likely no chance we are going to be able to outspeed. But that's okay. We'll try to see if we can find a way around that. We do have a badge boosting setup move, so we might potentially have some withdraw strategies that we can take advantage of. But we get some pretty decent coverage here. I mean, most of the coverage that a water type would get, being water as well as ice. But we do get access to submission. So that could potentially come in handy. Not too sure. If anywhere that would come in handy, that would be Lorelei and her ice types. Now, because we do have the rock typing, we are going to be hit neutrally by water type attacks. I don't think that will make a huge difference. Our special stat is still good, and in Generation 1, your special offense and defense are both categorized together. So that's going to be fine. And like I said, we should be able to trivialize Brock. This should just be a matter of clicking Water Gun 2 times. His two Pokemon are 4 times weak to water and grass. So once we get to our grass types, which actually I don't think we've played a single. Well, no, we have. We've played Venusaur. I was gonna say it's been so long ago since I actually played that Venusaur run that I actually forgot. So that's my mistake. I thought I hadn't played any grass types. I do have some coming up. I know Vileplume as well as Executor should be coming here in the coming weeks, and I actually am going to be making some changes to Stone evolutions. So Stone evolutions, typically they don't have a level up learn set. I'm actually going to be making patches to fix that. So they will be taking up the learn set of their pre-evolved forms. So I know I have Vileplume coming up soon. I as well also have Executor. So I'm going to fix their level up learn sets to match those of their pre-evolutions. Just kind of make it a little bit more fair. And give them access to moves that you would normally be able to get access to if you'd played them in their pre-evolved forms. So I'll be doing that with all the Stone evolutions. I know I've played some before, such as like Ninetales and Starmie. The Ninetales video should be live. Yeah, by the time you're seeing this should be live. And I didn't actually adjust those, but I will be. And if any of those Pokemon end up in the hardcore solo challenge series, those level up learn sets will be integrated into that patch as well. So let's head into Misty. Let's see how this fight goes. Like always, we've made sure to get Body Slam onto our set. It's always going to be, if you can get access to it, it's probably, if your Pokemon can learn it, it's always going to be a good idea to go ahead and get that onto your learn set, because it'll really help in the Misty fight. She's going for Bubble Beams here. They are neutral, so it's probably better than her going for Tackle, because, Staryu and Starmie have better special than they do physical attack. So despite that, not going to be any issues there. We are going to go ahead and teach Bubble Beam. We'll teach it over Horn Attack. We've got Body Slam for neutral damage, neutral physical damage, so we don't need 2 of those moves. We'll go ahead and have Bubble Beam and Water Gun. Since those are both stab, those are probably better to have. Over that, so we are going to clean up everything on the route over to Bill so that we can pick up the SS ticket and get on with the run. Now, I am 4 times weak to grass, which could make Erica a problem. Could also make Surge a problem. But like I say, Surge, until I fix his AI in the hardcore series, he's not going to be a threat in this series. Now, there's potential here. Raichu does outspeed, but Lieutenant Surge is choosing to go for an X speed, and it goes for Mega Punch. We get a paralysis, we outspeed, and we win the battle. Now, that's just one of the things. It's like, why are you going for an X speed when you already outspeed? Like, Surge had 2 chances there, and he blew one of them to use an X speed that was completely redundant. You were already outspeeding me. And you only didn't outspeed once you got paralyzed. So one day Surge will be a threat in my solo challenges. That day will come at some point. Game Freak decided to not make him a threat and give him just 1 Pokemon. I mean, really, if you're going to give somebody 1 Pokemon, surely they should have good AI, right? Wouldn't you think? I mean, and that's one of the only electric type Pokemon you see in the game that is like in a major fight outside of maybe Magneton and Jolteon on the champions team. But like no other trainers have a dominant electric type that would give you issues. But whatever. Now, if we didn't get access to Ice-type attacks, I'd say that Erica would probably be one of the more challenging gyms. But her Pokemon also aren't very quick, so it gives me chances to attack. Now, her team will get updated as well, and she might be more of a threat now in the future. So, if any Rock Water or whatever type is weak to rock ground, if any of those Pokemon make it, Erica's going to be a threat, and that might be where the run gets ended, because those are going to be hardcore level caps and the hardcore solo challenge. If you cannot beat a gym leader at level cap, you are disqualified and you have failed the hardcore challenge. So it's going to be a little bit stricter rules. It's not going to be like this series where we're actually evaluating everyone and everyone gets a chance to actually complete the game. No, it's going to be hardcore. This is to find out who's the best of the best. That's what it's all about. This fight against Koga is not one that I think I would struggle with, and as you can see here, I'm coming in poisoned. But that's okay. I do set up with withdrawal just for a little bit of defense, a little bit of stat boosting. I could potentially boost a little bit more to outspeed the Venomoth, but honestly, I don't think it's going to be too worth it. Our defenses are pretty good, special and regular defense, so these Venonat shouldn't be able to really put too much damage on me. Really, I've lost most of my health from like tick poison damage. But Venomoth, for whatever reason, is going to choose to go for Leech Life, which is really strange. I don't really know why it's doing that, and I do get a speed drop on it. Despite that, though, the Elvilay was still showing that it outsped me, but that's neither here nor there. We do get that win on Koga, and yeah, Omastar is doing pretty good, not really having any struggles. Up to this point, we have not lost any points. So yeah, really dominant performance in the Gym Leader Challenge for Omastar. You know, water types, I'd like to say water types will perform fairly well in Generation 1. So, I mean, water types are very strong. Lots of good water type moves to choose from, and you get access to Bubble Beam right after the second gym. as a water type. Usually you have a water type move like Water Gun or Bubble or something like that in your learn set that you can have for Brock and make him easy, but and as we come into the late game here, you can really start to see Omastar's speed stat really starting to hinder it here. As I do get hit with Kinesis from the Kadabra, we do manage to one-shot it despite the fact. And then, yeah, so not really taking too much damage from Alakazam, but it can lower our special. But we kind of sort of luck through that. Despite the accuracy drops, we do still take out Sabrina without missing any uses of Body Slam. So now we can head over the next two gym leaders and next two and final gym leaders in the Kanto region. Really should not give us any issues. We've got Blaine, the fire type specialist, which the fire typing itself is 4 times resisted by our rock and water typing. So this really, even if I didn't have water moves, this really wouldn't be a fight that really I really wouldn't even have to show this fight, and neither one of these gym leaders are going to get intros. Now the rock type is weak to ground, and I am slow, so like Doug Trio could cause me issues, but I still have withdrawal on my set, so I can still bolster my defenses in the case that, or in the chance, I don't know, I can't speak right now. Basically, if Doug Trio were to go for Dig, we could bolster our defenses a little bit and kind of soften up, mitigate some of that damage that I would otherwise do to us. But we also resist the normal type attacks that Blaine has. So basically, everything that Blaine has would be resisted. So there's nothing Blaine really could do in this situation. He just has to get destroyed by Surf. So it's like, why are we even going for Reflect when you see my Pokemon's a water type? It doesn't even make any sense. But yeah, that's probably the best with the way AI works. It's like, okay, Reflect is neutral here, typing wise, it's neutral, but it doesn't do any damage. Just bolsters your defenses, your physical defenses, and I'm using special moves, so it essentially doesn't do anything. But that will take care of Blaine. We're into Giovanni's gym. This shouldn't be an issue. We have water as well as ground type moves, so we have all the coverage we need to take care of Giovanni and his ground types. So like I said, outside of Diglett, Doug Trio, I don't really think there would be any issues here. And it's just because Doug Trio is pretty speedy, but it is frail as well. So coming into the fight, I think best play here is to just go ahead and start setting up withdrawal and anticipate that Doug Trio would go for Dig. Even though it could just go for Earthquake. It's kind of one of those ones where you're like, oh, I don't really know. And in this case, I just go for Surf. Thinking, because, in your head, you're like, okay, it can go for Dig. It could also go Guard Spec. And it could also just go for Earthquake. Or it could go for Fissure and just, completely body me. So I just go for Surf, get the one-shot. We one-shot Persian. We are going to one-shot Nidoqueen. And these two, they do have Thunder. They do have Earthquake. They have super effective damage that could take me out. But that's neither here nor there. Giovanni is going to be very trivial. We're going to clean him up real nice and easy. And an Omastar coming out of the Gym Leader Challenge. We have a perfect score for every single Gym Leader. Very good performance out of Omastar. But it's not over quite yet. We still have the Elite Four. This is typically where people start to lose points, and kind of looking at our learn set and move set, TM learn set, we don't really have anything that can really handle Lorelei outside of maybe Submission and Seismic Toss, which may not be bad choices, but they're not great. So we may have some point deductions here, but kind of looking at matchups for Omastar, I don't think anywhere else we would lose points. So Lorelei might be the only trainer that we lose points on, and that's just because of the type matchup and the lack of moves to use against her. But that's completely okay. Omastar is still going to have a really good score. It's performed very well. And just keep in mind, we're really only just using like water and ice type moves. But those two types cover so much. Now, it would be interesting if I had rock moves. Having rock moves could potentially be the answer, but we also have to keep in mind Omastar's attack stat isn't the best. So, but maybe you could make up for that by badge boosting with withdraw, because it's an option, but rock slide would also be same type. So it could actually do some damage. I'd actually like to make a series where I kind of see how much better Pokemon would be if they had access to moves they should technically have access to. Like as a rock water type, just having the rock typing alone, what's preventing you from using rock slide? So I kind of want to do a series like that, where like I give Omastar and Aerodactyl access to rock slide. Like that would be so interesting to me, just to see how that would impact their scores. So maybe I'll make a little side series where I kind of, make patches where they can actually learn rock slide and just kind of go through the game and see where that could potentially make an impact. Like this would be somewhere I think Omastar would have a change. Like it may not have to rely on ineffective moves to get through this battle, but instead it could rely on super effective rock slide. And even though we don't have the best attack stat, we have withdraw. So if we switched out rock slide for, say, body slam, at least for this fight, and just kind of see where all do we need withdraw, right? Because not only would rock slide come in handy in this fight, but it could come in handy against Lance as well. And specifically just his Gyarados. We'd have super effective damage against his Gyarados, stab super effective damage. So even though we do have neutral Ice Beam with the upside of Freeze, it may actually be a little bit better just going for Rock Slide. So that'll be interesting. I will do that at some point, likely before I finish this solo challenge series here. It might end up being just like a little side series that I have that maybe I'll do one episode a week. We'll just kind of see. I've still got a lot of ideas, a lot of things in the works, but yeah, this fight against Lorelei, it's a slog, and I'm having to use ineffective moves. Unfortunately, Body Slam's just not going to do enough, especially when we see the disparity between our physical attack and our special attack. You're better off just going for special moves, even though they're ineffective. They're just going to do more, especially because like Pokemon like Cloyster or Lapras, they're pretty bulky, so Body Slam's not going to do very much damage. So at this point in the game, Body Slam is getting to the point where it just doesn't really do much unless you're a normal type and you have Stab, or if you're just trying to get that paralysis to proc. So, which some people do have to rely on that Body Slam proc, especially like Pokemon that are weak to water. Like that Gyarados, Lance's Gyarados can wall you there. But we're doing good outside of that. We're going to kind of just trek along. Bruno's obviously not going to give us any trouble. Agatha shouldn't. We have good defense. And we have good special defense. So, I don't imagine we'll struggle here. But her Pokemon, specifically like her ghost types, they do have good special. As you see, her level 60 Gengar does have a special stat of 170. But that's okay, because our special is good too. Now, we're always, not always, but most of the time going to end up in this situation against Agatha where we get paralyzed, confused, stuff like that. That's really where Agatha is going to cause resets. It's not really to say that Agatha's team is like extremely hard to deal with, but like this lead Gengar likes to go for substitute. And it does have Mega Drain. And Mega Drain is 4 times super effective against our rock water typing. But that's okay. We're going to get through this. I still have 2 damage rounding thresholds that I could cross if need be. So we're going to try and get through it. We're here at level 57. Ice Beam in most cases would probably be the move, just for that up chance to freeze. So yeah, and that'll take care of Agatha. I do want to apologize as well. I'm not feeling the best. You may be able to hear it in my voice. I am a little congested. But here against Lance, we do get that freeze. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take advantage of that. I'm just going to set up all the way to +6 with withdraw. Boost all of our stats as high as we can get them. And we are going to sweep Lance. So we've got our special up to 436 and we have super effective Ice Beam. So we should be able to clean up Lance really easily here. There shouldn't be any issues. One shot now speed the Aerodactyl. And Dragonite is a no doubter. It's 4 times weak to ice. And that'll do the Elite Four. Now, for our scoring for the Elite Four coming out of there, we have 37 for Lorelei, we have 45 for Bruno, 45 for Agatha, 45 for Lance. Last and certainly not least, we have Champion Blue. We are going to heal up, level up up to 60 over damage rounding threshold. We're going to take this man on. We're going to see if we can get through this with this current move set. Might be smart to go ahead and slap on Mimic instead of Body Slam and pick up Earthquake. That way we have a way to deal with his Jolteon. Now the Jolteon is going to outspeed us, but we'll see how it goes. Ice Beam on the Sand Slash, that'll take him down in 1 hit. We are slower than the Alakazam. Body Slam does not one-shot. That's okay. Ice Beam on the Exeggutor, not getting that one-shot. It's going to go for a Leech Seed every time. It's a Grass-type move, and we are 4 times weak, so Exeggutor thinks that is the best option in that scenario. Now, coming in the Cloyster, we don't have anything that we can use against the Cloyster that's really going to make sense. So, coming back out of this again, Ice Beam on the Sand Slash. I did try to set up and see if that would maybe be smart on the Sand Slash, but it's going to go for Earthquake. Just going to take massive damage from the Alakazam. And this is kind of unfortunate because Omastar just not really having the damage ranges to really get through these Pokemon without, you know, taking a lot of damage in return. So I'm trying to set up with Withdraw on Sand Slash to try to get the ranges that I need here. And you know, it's kind of up in the air. We're coming in an Exeggutor to roughly half health, and when it can set up Leech Seed like this, and I'm not taking out these Pokemon in 1 hit, it's really tough. Like you get to that point on Cloyster, it's like Cloyster's going to take several turns to knock out, and if I get Leech Seeded, that's going to be so much health I'm losing turn after turn. And then you get hit with the special drops and you're like, can I even really win from this point on? Because my special right now is sitting at over 200. Just that one special drop drops me what seemed like almost half. So unless we can like evade the Leech Seed or something like that, I mean, it's just, it's tough, you know, it's really tough. Omastar is kind of where not having as much coverage as you might need comes to kind of bite you. And I had to go ahead and teach Blizzard as well as Hyper Beam. I needed something else. And even with Blizzard, still not getting the range I need. Just barely not getting that range. It's super unfortunate. And unfortunately, we just don't really have anything that's going to be able to deal with Cloyster outside of just utilizing Surf. So I'm going to go ahead and keep trying the strategy. It's unfortunate. It really is. But what can you do? Especially just that Leech Seed, man. I think that Leech Seed is just, it's not even worth it if you get Leech Seeded. And this is kind of where I'm like, I kind of need some luck here. Because, I mean, man, I hate Exeggutor sometimes. But I do go ahead and evade that one. And I clean it up with Surf. I'm going to let that one go. I'm not going to dock any points for that. I don't think that'll be fair, which is fine. I mean, why risk a Blizzard there? You know, it just... why even risk it? So we're going to set up Withdraw on the Ninetales because it's not doing anything but trying to confuse us. And with as much defense as we have, hitting ourselves in confusion is not that big of a deal. So we're going to get past that. And with all of those setups of Withdraw, we now outspeed the Jolteon. Or so I thought. And we get hit by a Massive Thunder. That was weird. I could have swore that said we were outspeeding. Nevertheless, we're going to come back in for another attempt. I'm going to level up one more time. And what I failed to realize there is that I did level up. And once I leveled up, my badge boosts were gone. I failed to keep that into consideration. And that is why I had to reset on that last attempt there. So we're going to try this one more time at level 64. And just hope that we don't get enough XP from the Ninetales to level us up. Because that's essentially what we're riding. We're going to have to hit probably just a massive Hyper Beam on the Jolteon to get through it. We take it out with Surf. Don't level up there. We are still going to outspeed now. We go for Hyper Beam, no confusion, and we take out Blue. Finishing the game with Omastar at level 64. Now, I am going to give us, that'll give us a score of 44 out of 49 for Blue. So for coverage, we do hit 8 types for super effective damage. That'll give us 16 points. Minus 10 for weaknesses. Plus 12 for resistances. 1 point for our finish level. And no base stat total points for a bonus point total of 19. And for a final score with Omastar, we are going to get 527 out of 583. For the water type, that will slot us with a 90.39% for an A tier finish. Looking at the rock types, circling back over to the rocks types, that will give us a score of 529 out of 583. So that'll be 90.74, and that will slot us into the A tier. Now when we come over and we filter for 151, Omastar with a score of 545, we'll get a finishing score of 93.48%. So A tier across the board. Pretty good showing out of Omastar. With the use of Withdraw and water and ice type attacks, you can get through that. So while mimicking Earthquake may have been a good strategy, you could also utilize Withdraw on the Ninetales to just stack up badge boost and outspeed the Jolteon and take it out with Hyper Beam, and that's what was effective there. And yeah, so next up we have Pinsir. Pinsir I think will do pretty good physical attacker. Not too much access in his move pool, but I think it'll still do good. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming up next, and I'll see you guys next time.